On February 17th, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius coming up. And if no one's told you yet, this is going to be a big deal. Depending on where this lands inside of your birth chart, this will either be the beginning of a brand new chapter or the closing of a chapter. And so let's dive into what you can expect, what rituals you can do, and what kind of energy is out there during this eclipse season. Hi, everyone. I'm Lexie Forbes. I'm a former social worker and therapist turned professional astrologer. And I love using astrology to help me understand myself and serve other people. I also use astrology as a personality tool to help people learn more about how they operate and what challenges they may face, as well as the strengths that they have. In today's video, I want to break down what you can expect from eclipse season and how this is going to impact you based off of your sun and your rising sign. So this is going to be the first eclipse in a brand new Leo/Aquarius cycle. This is a cycle that we haven't experienced since 2017 to 2019. And one of the ways that I like to figure out what I can expect energetically is by looking back in my Google Photos to see what was the energy that I was in 2017 to 2019. I also journal, so I like to look at my journal. What was I struggling with? What were some of the questions that I had about life and work and love during that time? And then that helps me to understand maybe what I can expect during this season. So I encourage you to do the same thing. This is an annual solar eclipse. This could also be called the Ring of Fire. And the reason is because the moon doesn't fully cover the sun. Instead, it leaves a glowing light right around the edges, kind of looking like this ring of fire. So symbolically, that's exactly what this eclipse does. It reveals what's been hiding in plain sight, aka the things that you've been avoiding, the changes that you've been resisting, the doors that you've been too scared to walk through. And now they're all about to be lit up. Now, this eclipse is a little bit different because it's at 28 degrees Aquarius. That means that there's not a lot of new stories that are happening because it's a late degree. Instead, whatever has been building in the Aquarius part of your chart, it's finally coming to a head. It's coming to a culmination. Things are finally closing. We're seeing chapters that maybe you started now beginning to get to the end of the story. And this also means that any decisions that you've been putting off, now you're going to have to face them. You're going to have to actually make a choice and decide if you're moving forward, if you're releasing, if you're letting go, or if you're allowing new things to come in. What makes this even more powerful is the fact that we have Saturn and Neptune going to be conjunct only 3 days later, which means they're coming close together. They're going to be at the same degrees, which is 0 degrees Aries. This only happens once in 36 years. Where Saturn is all about structure and discipline, Neptune is all about the illusions and our imagination. So them coming together is kind of challenging because it's like they both have different things that they're going for. So old ideas and old dreams will start to kind of peel away. And now the new things are going to come in. Now new ideas are coming in. It's an interesting time because you have the conjunction coming up where old ideas are going to fall away. New ideas are going to start coming in. Maybe an expectation that you had is now going to be gone. And now you're open to a new idea or a new door opening. But at the same time, because this eclipse is happening at a late degree, there's some sort of ending that's now happening in your life wherever Aquarius lands in your chart. Now, the other thing is that Aquarius is the sign of the collective. This is all about the networks we belong to, the communities that we're part of, and it's also the rebel of the zodiac. So if you look at it from a bigger level, a macro level, this is going to be about us questioning society and questioning the communities that we're part of. And look at what's happening in the world right now. Look at what's happening in the States right now. We're starting to look at some of the systems that we've had in place for hundreds of years, and now we're starting to rebel against them. We're starting to say that we're not going to continue down this path anymore. And we're questioning, am I part of something that is going towards the good of all people? Or am I part of something that maybe is not helping people the way that I want to help? Now, the other thing is that Aquarius energy rules over the idea of freedom within the communities that we're part of. The question that might come up is, what does freedom actually look like for you? I'm talking about freedom from the system, freedom from the rules, freedom from how it's always been, not this cutesy idea of freedom. This is about getting to live on your own terms and deciding that I'm not going to follow whatever rules that someone else has put in place. Instead, I'm actually going to listen to what's in my heart, what's in my chart, and follow that flow. I did not mean for that to rhyme. That just naturally happened. Let's break down some of the signs and how this is going to affect you based off of your sun and your rising sign. Now, if you don't know your rising sign or your sun sign, I encourage you to book a chart reading with me, because I will break it all down so you can get a deeper understanding of who you are, how you manifest, and what you can expect. Knowing your birth chart is what allows you to really create accuracy in your readings. If you're the type of person who looks up horoscopes and you're like, this doesn't really sit right with me, it's probably because you haven't had your birth chart read. So I encourage you to go to the description down below, book a reading with me so we can dive deep into what makes you who you are and plan your future moving forward. So Aquarius sun and Aquarius rising. This is your birthday season. And so that's why I want to give you this reading, because this is actually going to be hitting your first house of self. So your identity is now up in the air. You're starting to question, who am I really? And am I showing up the way that I want to be seen? Or am I following the rules that everyone's placed on me and now finding that it doesn't suit me? I don't want to be that person. During this eclipse season, you may have a big shift in how you dress, what you look like, who you hang out with. Your relationships might start to shift. And it's because you are actually changing for the better, hopefully, right? You're starting to identify parts of yourself that you either love or that you're ready to let go of. You're done with trying to fit in with people, trying to please everyone. You now are taking ownership of your identity in a way that you've never done before. And that's because of this eclipse. This eclipse is hitting your house of identity. And so it's causing you to start to go, that doesn't jive with me. That doesn't work with me. And if it doesn't work with me, let it go. Now, the thing I want you to look out for is the fear of getting uncomfortable, because when your identity is shifting, it is really tempting to avoid the pain, to avoid how this feels, and to try to look for the comfort. But comfort for you is actually your enemy. You want to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, because discomfort is actually your sign that you are growing, healing, and elevating to a new level of self. Let's talk about the other air sign, Gemini risings and Gemini suns. Now, this is actually hitting your house of belief, of expansion, of learning, and higher purpose. So what that means is you may find that during this season, this eclipse season is starting to really shift how you believe in certain things. Maybe a religion that you once were part of no longer feels appealing or right to you. Maybe a belief system that you've had about the afterlife or about your values are now starting to shift, and you're going, this doesn't align with me. I feel like I need to find a new way to show up in my life in order for it to fit with who I now am. That's a good sign. You're evolving as a person, as a soul, and that's a normal part of healing and growth. One of my Gemini rising friends recently told me how she found herself being attracted to Buddhism, and she had never considered that as a possibility before. But it makes sense with this Aquarius solar eclipse happening in her house of beliefs. So now she's starting to evaluate and look at things in a different light than how she looked at them before. However, what I want you to watch out for is some of the downloads that you're going to get during this time are going to be like all over the place. They're going to be unexpected and something you can't really plan. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that eclipse energy is volatile. It's really hard to plan with it, which is why we don't try to manifest with this energy. So don't believe everything you think. Instead, challenge it, open your mind, consider the possibilities, and just let the downloads flow before you decide to take any action. My Libra risings and my Libra suns. So this Aquarius eclipse is actually hitting your fifth house of creativity, of romance, of joy, and self-expression. So this is an opportunity for you to explore who you are outside of the confines of like the rules on how you're supposed to express yourself, the rules of how you're supposed to love or who you're supposed to love. You may find that during this time, your sexuality blossoms in a way that you've never experienced before, or now you're curious about things that once before you never thought of. This is about having fun and exploring new ways of looking at life. Something about your relationship to joy and self-expression is about to expand in a way that you've never experienced before. So if you've been experiencing like a lot of boredom in your life, part of it is because the universe is literally saying, make life fun again. One of the things that I want to encourage you to look out for is look for the desire to reconnect with old hobbies, maybe even explore a creative project. Anything that excites you and turns you on a little bit about life, this is the time. The universe is saying, like, this is the time. I want to warn you about the need to create balance. Libra risings love to create equal footing in everything, and you can't do that all the time. So right now, your life may be a little messy, a little unplanned. You might find that you want to spend a lot more time having fun rather than trying to be the responsible one or trying to do all the things. Like, you just want to enjoy yourself. That is because of this eclipse. Allow yourself to just have fun. Life does not have to be all about the rules. Sometimes it's about just letting go and letting yourself express yourself. If you would like to get a full reading based off of your rising sign, maybe you're a Capricorn rising like me or a Leo rising like my husband, then I encourage you to come on over to my Substack, where I created a survival guide that dives deep into each of the rising signs and tells you exactly what you can expect, how you can utilize this energy in order to understand the themes that are showing up in your life right now. And I even give you rituals that you can use based off of your rising sign to help you maximize the energy that is happening in the universe at this time. The general reading is available for everyone, but if you want to dive into the personalized zodiac signs, that's available for my paid members over on Substack. Becoming a paid member is totally worth it. It's only $9.99 a month, or you can save money and it's $99 a year, which is the most affordable reading that you can get from an astrologer. My paid subscribers get monthly co-working and Q&A sessions. They also get access to the chat, and you get trainings on how to grow your business using your birth chart. I'm super excited about this guide. It is incredibly thorough, and I would love to have you come on over. So check the description down below in order to join the Substack. If you have any questions about astrology or about the eclipse or about manifesting with your birth chart, then go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.